Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to discuss the astrological energies of January 31st until February 7th as we move into the unpredictable energies of February that also include opening up the year of the dragon energies, and basically anything goes in February. Anything can happen as it's a month of big activations, powerful surprises, breakthroughs, higher understandings of what is calling to you, what you want, what that dream is, and also perhaps some very powerful manifestations on what to do. So we're going to discuss the energies here of this next week, as we always do. And in this podcast, I approach the world, language, and energy of astrology through an intuitive lens, where we look at it through the energetics, the spiritual components, and how you can be in your power, in your choices, in your light, as we all collectively navigate this cosmic energy together. Now, over this next week, we will not only have some really good astrology, but we also have some incoming solar flares to be aware of. And these solar flares are expected to hit the Earth around February 5th. And it's from that southern coronal hole that opened up on the sun. If you'll recall, a few months ago, there was a big opening in the sun of a new coronal hole. And now we're going to be receiving more streams of solar wind moving through that hole and coming towards our atmosphere. So there is energy that we're working with that is very new and different, that also correlates to how the sun is transforming. The sun is activated, and this syncs up with the astrology, as we just saw the sun and Pluto make their conjunction, their annual conjunction, at 29 degrees, 59 minutes of Capricorn, before both entered Aquarius back on January 20th. So the sun is evolving and changing into new expressions of itself. This affects the neutrinos we receive, the light codes we receive, the energy we receive from the sun's power and life force. So keep in mind that that's part of this new playing field, is that now we are also adapting and integrating with how the sun is evolving. Another item worth noting that is playing out that directly relates to the astrology of our times is that the solar eclipses that are crossing over the US and North America are playing out right now at this time. And specifically, the issues are amplified in Texas, where there is currently a big battle between the state and federal governments over the border. And there is an ongoing standoff in Eagle Pass, Texas, which is part of the upcoming solar eclipse path that will occur on April 8th, 2024. And in a video I've done for you on YouTube, I show you how these 3 eclipses starting in 2017 until 2024 are drastically changing the US. And of course, it always helps for us to see how the energies are showing up and playing out. So please check out that video I have for you on the solar eclipses on YouTube. The title is Solar Eclipse Triple Whammy, How the USA is Changing Drastically with These Energies, for those of you who are interested in current events and how the astrology is playing out with them. So we're coming off of some big energies over the past week, where we had a very igniting Leo full moon followed by Uranus stationing direct. And it could feel like your energies have been all over the place, almost like you've been going back and forth or wrestling with something. It could feel like you're in these polar oppositional fields where your energy goes into the depths of one extreme or one energy and then goes into the opposing energy and is all over the place, very unsettled, very erratic. And it could feel too like there is this new electrical current running through you, not allowing anything to be calm or stable or settled, not allowing anything to be known or even clear at times. And I'm seeing this as a very big rocking back and forth that is stirring up a lot of emotions. And it could be this sense of, you love something and then you hate it. You have to have it. You never want it. It's almost like the inconsistency is pushing and pulling. And it could feel too like, what do you do with this? What's this about? What's the bigger picture? And how I'm seeing the energy is that it's moving through us to help us shake off the parts of ourselves that have been held captive or held small or held back. And it's almost like trying to wrestle yourself out of a straitjacket or what you didn't even realize you were stuck in. And I feel this very energetically. I feel this actually very much around our own self-imposed limitations that maybe were unconscious, maybe things that we thought we had to do. We thought we had to stay the course. We thought we had to be more traditional in a sense. But now with these big energies moving through Aquarius season, where we have the sun and Pluto in Aquarius, it's waking up parts of our dormant life force that I see are directly connected to repressed soul codes. And I'm seeing them as codes, like different types of coding that appears very beautifully to be sacred geometry, but also like it's just a mess. It's just a mess of stuff, a mess of energies or feelings, extremes, emotions, a mess of possibilities, ideas, potentials. And I'm seeing this energy coming up and out to shake something free. And it's interesting because I'm also being brought to the focal point or the middle balance point of the energy. So if, for example, you've been hemming and hawing back and forth around your job, around the work you're doing, and you're realizing, oh, I don't love this. I don't know if I can keep doing it. Oh, but it's my paycheck. Oh, but there's things I do enjoy about it. And let's say you're going back and forth, maybe hour to hour, day to day. There's something here, the core message in the center, the core message that is actually gaining power. I see it like a light turning on, where it's less about the job. It's more about how do you want to share your energy? What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience on a regular basis? And that energy is coming up and out for you to notice. That might be the discontent. That might be where you feel like you're in this straitjacket and you're looking for the key. And the key is inside because it's coming from a new internal message around a part of your life experience that you haven't tapped into before. And I feel this rising up. And because it's so destabilizing and uncertain, it's actually working with the fears first. So think of it as different layers of energy. And so it's bringing up the fears first. It's bringing up, the huge doubts, the big what ifs, the fact that, oh no, this won't work, and all the reasons it won't work, right? All the reasons it'll fail. Then you come back to center. And as you come back to center, you're returning to connect with that understanding of what you want to experience, what you want next. It's like, no, I'm feeling this way because I want to be in more of my creative flow. I want to feel a different sense of myself every day in the workplace. I want to focus on different things, whatever it might be for you. And then your energy goes into maybe the more exhilarated possibilities, the best case scenarios, what could transpire, how it could show up. And then you come back to center again, and maybe this dynamic continues, this push and pull continues because you're working out some bigger fears around a new part of yourself you haven't met before. And this is not like the soft, easy, flowing, gentle energy. No, this is like feeling like you just put your finger in a electrical socket, or you've been hit by lightning, or something is coming through and it's so undeniable or so powerful, and it just has you like jittering and shaking. And keep in mind, this works with people at different extremes. And so if you're not feeling it, you could be sensing it in the people around you. There can also be a lot of anger that comes up, a lot of frustration, a lot of agitation. Like there feels to be some very clear, unpleasant energies we're moving through that could be taking you to these polar opposite extremes, to the point where you don't know what to believe and you don't know what to trust. And what I'm seeing is this energy is coming back to center, and it's actually going higher. And I see it going higher into these new downloads we're receiving about new life potentials, about new directions, new parts of yourself that are coming online and are being activated. And there's something here that wants you to clear out limitations from previous timelines. This is part of a drastic timeline shift that, again, destabilizing, unclear, not even calm in the least. And then there's something here that we're adapting to. We have to adapt quickly, even though it could feel like you want to overthink it. And that can be a safety mechanism. Overthinking, overprocessing can be a way of looking for the danger, looking for what might go wrong, looking for the failure, looking for all the possible ways it could not work. And that stems from the fear body. But when I say going higher, I'm seeing that this energy is streaming in to the third eye chakra, and it's actually busting out. I'm seeing it as these very dark caverns in the brain where we have a lot of repressed memories and fears and things we haven't come into contact with. And it looks like that's what's coming up and out. So we could call it shadow work, dark night of the soul, very deep internal work. I mean, it looks like very dark matter is how I'm seeing this intuitively. Obviously, I'm not a neuroscientist, and this is not science. This is the energies I'm seeing as they're presenting themselves. And that's what's going on. It's sort of like sticking your whole hand in a powerful electrical outlet, and the energy goes right to that dense, heavy, dark energy in the brain to cleanse it out, to blast it out. And I'm laughing because it looks like a cartoon, but it doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel funny at all. And so there's something working with us at very deep layers of our being. You could feel like it's hard to calm down. You could feel like it's hard to rest. It's hard to sleep, that your nervous system won't shut down or turn off. And I'm seeing this as these electrical currents pulsing through us, and they're showing me the energy in the bloodstream. This could be very aggressive energy that comes out of nowhere. This could be something that comes up for you from a previous time in your life, and all of a sudden it's front and center again, and it stirs up your fight or flight. It's activating very primal energies too. And what I'm feeling around it is it's the universe saying, we got to go past this. We got to evolve past this so that you can be in these higher frequencies without carrying this density or this primal energy with you. And it just feels like it's part of our expansion. It's part of our growth, and it's intense. It's intense. And I'm seeing this is part of how the ongoing February energies are going to show up. Now, on February 2nd, Mercury in Capricorn is sextiling Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees. And this is a Mercury who has just been through the retrograde experience and now is softening with new intuitive awareness. February 2nd, something is coming into a higher understanding, and it could be something that even gives you peace, a sense of gratitude. This is very artistic, creative energy that maybe you're going to want to make something with it, do something that is supportive and transcendent. This is also the energy of being able to put something aside, to not let it get to you, to not let it be something that you even take into your energy. So there's a calming influence here as Mercury finishes up the journey through Capricorn. Then Mercury enters Aquarius on February 4th or February 5th, depending on your time zone. And this is a Mercury that comes alive with something really deep, intense, and powerful. And that's because Mercury makes the first conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius. This is happening for the first time in our lives, and it's a brand new energy of self-awareness that can feel quite personal. Now, this conjunction happens at 7:58 a.m. on February 5th. That's Eastern time. So that's during the morning hours. And there could be something here where the day starts off in a new way. Now, let's put this into a bigger picture. So when we talk about Pluto and the sun moving into Aquarius, these are collective energies. Pluto being about our solar system's frequencies, activating more new energy fields in the galaxy. And it's very far away. In fact, we know that it's one of the furthest from Earth. It's classified as a TNO, a trans-Neptunian object. And so we can have a sense of, okay, we understand Pluto is changing signs, it's happening, we get it, we feel it. Well, when Pluto is conjunct Mercury, Mercury is your everyday. Mercury is your immediate environment. It's your communications and information. It's what's going on within you and around you that you can visibly see. So Mercury conjunct Pluto is making this Pluto transit into Aquarius more personal, more real, more in your face, and something is coming up here that is changing the way we think and communicate, also opening us up to more depths of our being and digging into our intentions, digging into what really drives us and what do we need to see in a new way. This is where Pluto could be showing you something you didn't realize you were working off of. Let's say it was deep fear, deep worry, deep doubts. Mercury conjunct Pluto, especially in Aquarius, could show you, how is that playing out for you? Is that really what you want? Is that really how you want to continue forward? And then you could catch yourself thinking something and never questioning it, never even challenging it until this transit occurs. And you're like, wow, I didn't realize I was living my whole life like this. I didn't realize I was running on fear or I was motivated by a certain thought pattern. I never saw it before. And Pluto wants you to see it. Pluto is going to open up something that's been in the shadows of your being, in the depths of your journey, for you to understand it. But in Aquarius, there is not only a detachment, but there is an opportunity to look at the pattern. Aquarius is about how we bring all these various components together into one whole experience. It's a very complex organization. It's multiple systems, multiple parts, multiple things all working together. And Aquarius can handle it, can manage it, because Aquarius steps back to see, yes, that is either what's working or what's not working. That's what's efficient. That is serving the long term or not. So there's something really powerful here over the next week as Mercury enters Aquarius and makes that conjunction to Pluto. You could have some unexpected new visions or wild dreams. You could have something that feels even rebellious, untamed, fast, erratic. It's also quick turnarounds. Quick turnarounds of, I don't even want that anymore. I don't even care about that anymore. So keep in mind that this will be happening in the collective, and it will be a period of time when shocking announcements are made, unexpected information comes forth. Also, this relates directly to social media. This relates to the internet and website, which are all Aquarian domains. And here's something to share with you about social media. So I have an Instagram account, and it's a professional account, professional or business, whatever they call it. Last year, when Pluto was in Aquarius, I started getting this new information on my Instagram account that I had never seen before. And it was showing me people who were checking my account regularly. It was showing me usually 5 to 8 accounts that were always looking at my Instagram. And that's because these platforms are not only run on AI now, but a lot of algorithms, and algorithms are looking for patterns and habits and the consistencies and the connections. So algorithms being very Aquarian, here was Pluto in Aquarius showing me who was all over my Instagram account. And it gave me good understanding of who to block on Instagram, block on Facebook. And also it was a very important revelation that we can think that certain things on social media are hidden or that you can't be tracked, you can't be traced. But with Pluto in Aquarius, don't think that anymore, because if you're creeping or peeping or keeping tabs on people, all of that can come out. And we don't own these platforms. These platforms can do whatever they want with their algorithms, with all the data they're collecting. Don't think that maybe you are being secretive or hidden if you're spying on somebody on social media, because all of that can change in the blink of an eye. So that feature that was showing me what was going on my Instagram page was only there during April, I believe, of 2023. So when Pluto was briefly in Aquarius. And now that feature's gone. So when I log into Instagram, I can't see that anymore. It was almost like the universe was showing me it as a reminder and as an understanding that anything can be done with data, with online experiences. Anything can change in the blink of an eye on these platforms that we don't control. We are simply visitors. We are renters. We're not the owners. So your social media use, what you use it for and how you use it, can change overnight. And just think that through, because would you be horrified if somebody knew you were visiting their profile 556 times in a 24-hour period? So just keep in mind that all of that is tracked. And that is something that can show up as we move into not only Pluto in Aquarius, but all three personal planets making a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius this month. In addition to Mercury being powerful this week, we're going to have Venus in Capricorn squaring Chiron in Aries at 16 degrees. That happens also on February 5th. And this is a realignment for Venus. This is where Venus in Capricorn is going to make some choices as she squares Chiron in Aries to decide what she will take on and what she will leave behind based on how you have been working through something that has been healing, but also wounding. And I feel like this Venus in Capricorn, it's a soft square, meaning it isn't as painful or as abrupt as other squares to Chiron in Aries. It's also a closing square, which means that you've come to terms with something. You've seen it for what it is. You understand whether or not it serves you. And on the same day, the sun in Aquarius sextiles that Chiron in Aries as well. So we have energies here that are showing us a new path forward based on what you've learned, based on more of what is good for you. What is good for you right now? What is good for where you're growing and what is important to your self-empowerment? What is good for you? The sun in Aquarius sextiling that Chiron is enforcing your independence and your freedom, is showing you how to be more of yourself and to not be afraid of that. Chiron in Aries is where we're vulnerable in being our true selves. And here we have energy saying, no, I'm worth it. I can do this. I'm capable. I came in with these skills and abilities. So there could be something you're really trusting in yourself in a new way. And again, February 5th is the big day of this theme. Interesting to note that that's also the day when we are projected to be receiving those incoming solar winds from the new coronal hole in the sun. So there is a flood here of new understandings of what's possible in your life and how you are designed to be in your authenticity more than ever. And maybe that's part of what you've been wrestling with, is the fears of being truly seen. But what really matters is seeing yourself. That's 90% of it. Just really seeing yourself, accepting yourself, really being strong, confident, and clear in these new parts of yourself, because it doesn't even matter what other people think. We think it does at first, but that's kind of how we're scapegoating it. We're saying, oh, well, it really matters what other people think. No, it doesn't. It matters what you think. Get straight with yourself. Get right with yourself, and everything else will dissolve or fall away much easier. So you get clear and strong in, this is who I am. This is my life. This is what I came here to experience and do. Nothing else really matters. And this is where you can invest your energy and time in strengthening that with your God self, with the universe, and with the mirror. Those are the two places you take it. You take it to the mirror where you take it to God, you take it to the universe, and you work it out on your terms. You get stronger within, and that's what you need to do. That's it. Everything else is a distraction. Everything else will pull you away from your own truth, your own path, your own self-awareness, and everything else can also delay that confidence that you're seeking. It can simply be a delay. Now, yes, we need to talk things out with our trusted friends and loved ones. Yes, we need support and others to show up for us, to affirm or remind us of who we are. But I feel like this is a week where if you're wrestling with something very deep, it's because you're wrestling with who you really are and who you know you really are. And now as I see that straitjacket, it now looks like a beautiful chrysalis, a beautiful caterpillar transition into the butterfly of before that opening and that cracking open into the new self-identity. There is that internal struggle that isn't going away. And I'm also being shown that the struggle is necessary. So don't beat yourself up for the struggle. There's something about that has value in it, that has worth in it. And there's something about this energy as well that is allowing you to move through something in its fullness, like sampling or tapping into the fullness of the energy, which is almost like leaving no rock unturned. And this is actually being presented to me as a painter's palette, where in the middle of the palette, the different colors can be blended and diluted or strengthened. But on the outside of the palette, you have your separations. You have your red, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, white. And then it's like tapping into each of those colors brings about something even more, something that needs to be experienced in order to create it. So I hope this is making sense because I know I'm using a lot of imagery, and that's because in a way it does feel complicated, but I trust if this resonates with you, it's landing and you're feeling it and it's maybe even validating you. If it's not resonating, then of course don't force it, don't make it resonate, but it's being able to move through the complexities, being able to tap in to all these different energy fields is part of the gift, is part of the way through, and also what is returning you to center. Because I keep seeing the energy coming back to center, a center knowingness, a knowingness that you have that maybe has been limited, repressed, held back. There are powerful activations of this deep knowingness, and that's also what is coming online at this time. This deep knowingness is a direct transmission from your soul level intelligence. And it's coming through to get your attention around something that you are ready to create, whether that is a new idea, a new lifestyle, a new dream, or even a shift internally, something that you're complete with that perhaps no one even knows about, and that doesn't matter. What matters is that you're realizing something that is pivotal and key for yourself at this time, but it only could have come up with the force of these new incoming energies that are requiring us to move into these new energetic paradigms. I'm also seeing that a big part of this energy is a timeline crash. We are crashing into new timelines. Instead of gently, softly, swiftly moving into something with unicorn grace, rather this is like a crash landing into a very jarring new energy field that we're ready for. And it's going to keep pulsing. It's going to keep picking up the pace, which can also feel like a frantic energy. But remember that you're traveling with what you need, and what we need next will rise up to meet us on the road ahead. It feels like what we're entering here are energies that our future self has been holding for us, reserving, allowing us to arrive at this point. And now we're here and the energies are very alive and moving quickly, and there's a part of you that knows you can handle it. And so I feel too like part of this timeline crash, part of this deep knowingness at a soul level is emerging between the future self that maybe you thought was really far away, and all of a sudden it's right here, or it's already being integrated and you're being recalibrated in a way that is just hard to describe because there's so many energetics going on. And so this can be stirring up those Chiron and Aries energies that we just discussed on February 5th, where a part of you is gaining more confidence in who you really are at this point of your journey, the newness of it. It's fresh, it's unknown. It's a sense of, I'm just figuring this out as I go, and I'm pretty sure I've got it, but there's still things that are coming up that can show you where the insecurities are, the doubts are, the parts of yourself that just take time to continue to meet, accept, and fully love. Now on February 7th, we're also going to have lovely energy here with both Venus in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees, and on the same day, Mars in Capricorn sextiling Neptune in Pisces at 26 degrees. Both of these energies are about going higher into the energy spectrum of masculine and feminine expressions. You could feel like a part of your feminine energy is maturing, is moving ahead, especially as Venus moves through Capricorn. Now she meets up with Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees for the trine. And this is something that you could be sensing is just clear and true for you. And this Uranus in Taurus has been at 19 degrees before, and there could be something here that is just locking into place. It just connects, it just flows, and it's energizing. It gives you a new sense of what you want, what you desire. I also feel like with the Venus in Capricorn, because this is the energy too of holding back, observing, ensuring that something is true. This could be something that you've been sitting with, witnessing, and patiently working through. And now there is support from Uranus and Taurus that brings in a clear yes, even a clear no. This can be beneficial for business decisions, for financial decisions. This could be something that presents itself in the physical world, which is what the earth signs rule, that gives you an excited yes, a wonderful opportunity, an unexpected invitation or resources, support, something coming through that finally aligns. So this is quite lovely, quite beautiful. And Venus in Capricorn will work hard for where she wants to go. And she takes pride in what she's earned, along the way. So this is something that could have your name on it, that shows up and validates that what you've been working on is paying off. Again, that's at 19 degrees of Capricorn, 19 degrees of Taurus. And this energy will work with you more personally if you have planets or points at 19 degrees of the earth signs. That's where the energy is the strongest. Then with this Mars in Capricorn sextiling Neptune and Pisces at 26 degrees, this is the commanding Mars who wants to go forward, who wants to get things done, and who will show up to ensure that something is a victory. This is a very strong Mars. And this energy sextiling Neptune will give him a bigger perspective on what is worth the effort, where he should take action, where he should not, and even a sense of trusting himself to navigate the current terrain. Because Mars in Capricorn can be very determined to just get it done. It is an industrious, productive Mars, but here are the whispers of his intuition, even a sense of maybe I'll hold back a little bit on this. And as he trusts that, something flows in, something opens up that he wouldn't see at first. This sextile to me looks like something approaching out of your peripheral vision, something showing up that is actually quite soft and lovely and easy. And it just has this yes to it. It has a sense of, well, that's a better direction, or that makes the work easier. So again, this is happening February 7th, when we'll also have the moon in Capricorn. And because this is occurring at the same time as Venus in Capricorn is trining Uranus in Taurus, there could be things that finally make sense. They're realistic, they're clear. And this sets us up as well for the Aquarius new moon, which will occur on Friday, February 9th at 5:59 p.m. That's Eastern Time. The Aquarius new moon is occurring at 20 degrees and 41 minutes of Aquarius. And I will have a video for you on YouTube shortly going through the energetics of that lunar chart. So as you can see, there's a lot happening as we move into February. It's a very punchy month. It is very dynamic, and there can be blasts of things coming through, grabbing your attention, hitting your awareness, feeling like it's crashing into your energy and awakening something in you that you're ready to see. And it's almost like you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it with Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto is actually now moving into new territory as well in Aquarius, because last year Pluto moved to 0 degrees 22 minutes of Aquarius. And the minutes are really important with Pluto because the energy is so deep and intense, and because Pluto moves so slowly. Well, this week, as we enter February, Pluto moves past where he traveled in 2023. In fact, it is on February 2nd that Pluto moves to 0 degrees 23 minutes, and we continue into this initiation energy, this 0 point of new potentials that also echoes back to where Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct in Aquarius, what we called the Great Conjunction, back in December 2020. So this is a time to allow the energy to continue to open up, especially your third eye and crown chakras, to allow the energy to let in new air, new life, new possibilities, new visions, and to know that we are right on time for this level of growth, this level of awakening. And it's so much bigger than what we could even fathom at the present moment. And I know that feels overwhelming. In fact, that could be what you're moving through, is a lot of overwhelm. But there is some perfection in the chaos. And in fact, chaos is the natural state of the universe, where we have these big cataclysmic events that create ripple effects of energies, where stars burst open, where things explode out there in our galaxy, and we feel it at some level of our consciousness. Well, now that energy is what we are directly experiencing within ourselves, that we are being guided into some new openings of our own knowingness, our own soul intelligence, and that's the expansion. The chaotic expansion, the struggle of the expansion. And keep in mind, these energies are working with you most personally if you have planets or points at 0 degrees of the fixed signs. So 0 degrees of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, as well as 0 degrees of the air signs of Gemini and Libra, plus 0 degrees of the fire signs of Aries and Sagittarius. So any 0 degree points in your chart are really coming alive. They're being required to grow and evolve. And there's also something that you could feel is quite exciting about that, even if that's not the energy you feel regularly or emotionally. I did a podcast for you on Monday, January 29th, discussing the major astrological energies of February, and there is a lot of kapow energy of this month, so please listen to that. And I also am going to have for you an extra podcast episode discussing the significance of February 29th, since this is a leap year, and I've been receiving a lot of downloads and channeled information about this particular day, the energetics involved, and how it relates to the history of calendars on our planet and how calendars have been used. It's been really fascinating. So I'll be releasing those additional podcasts for you soon, as those will be channeled messages. And I have been receiving these downloads from 3 specific guides, and they've presented themselves as elders: a Mayan elder, Aztec elder, Inca elder, and they're huge. Their energy is like 9 feet tall. That's the presence of their energy, and what they've been sharing is quite fascinating. So again, I'll release those podcast episodes for you shortly, because it also relates to these age of Aquarius energies that we're moving into, that are quantum, that are outside the time-space continuum, and are actually supporting us in more of our multidimensional abilities. And just a quick update to follow up on my announcement from last Wednesday that I am hosting a business development retreat based on your astrology chart and your human design energies. This retreat, it's called Shine Your Success Frequency, and it is with my co-presenter, Rob Thomas, who has the highest possible credentials in human design. And he and I are so excited to offer this experience for you, to really dig into how you are energetically designed to be successful based on your energy. And we have so much to teach, so much to share. We're going to dig in to your charts, and this experience is almost sold out. There's only 2 spots left, and those could be gone by the time you hear this. But good news, we are going to add a second retreat later this year. We're working out those details now, because this is one of those experiences where it really helps to be in person if you can. So we are going to offer this again in the second half of 2024. I will be sharing with you those details as soon as they are finalized. And we are also going to be offering this in an online video format at some point as well. And that's because we want as many people as possible to have access to this information, especially for the big incoming shift of energy in 2027. 2027 begins a whole new 411-year frequency shift on the planet. We haven't had a frequency shift like this in over 400 years. So light workers, star seeds, energy readers, whatever you're doing in the world that you know is your calling, this information is designed to set you up to be ready to go in your power, in your lane, and to experience success on your own terms as these new energies of individuation come in to our awareness and into our experiences. So if you weren't able to sign up for the May 2024 in-person business development retreat, I hope you can join us for the second one, or even for the online video program when that's available. So I just wanted to give you that update, because I know that many of you are really interested and even curious about what all this means. And we hope that it ultimately guides you to more of who you are and how you are here to be successful in this lifetime. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday with a new episode for you, plus those upcoming bonus episodes that I mentioned, and the Aquarius new moon video will be live on YouTube shortly. You can find all of my current astrology programs and offerings over at mollymccord.online, as well as these events and the upcoming Midnight Sun cruise, as we cruise from Iceland to Scotland, to Copenhagen, making some stops along the way at really amazing places, and also discussing astrology as we move through these particular ley lines on the planet. So wishing you a beautiful start to February, and I look forward to connecting with you again here soon.